Most people, they'll go, well, I just watched this great list on the absolute best firearm that you have to have, and it's gonna be that. And I'm like, okay, all right. So you liked everything about it. Well, yeah, except I didn't like that the guy had problems with failure. This happened recently. A guy came in and was talking about someone else's review of a Kel-Tec. And they said, but he was having issues with it jamming and it wouldn't feed. And I go, well, okay, how many variables did he change? Like, how many different brands of ammo? How many different grain weights? How many different velocities of ammo was he trying through that?
Did he clean his gun?
Did he clean it? Did he have multiple magazines to choose from?
Off-brand
like, if
yeah.
the magazine that was in there wasn't working correctly, did he have a backup? Was there a backup to the backup? What other conditions are there? Like, weather conditions can sometimes ruin somebody's day at the range, for sure. So, like, when I try to find out what people's issue with the firearm, especially when it's a firearm they themselves have not shot, and then their question comes to me is like, what would make it do that? And I'm like, you've got a lot of options. Well, I keep seeing these, and I'm like, well, I've never shot that specific serial number. Now, you've seen with that specific serial number how that specific serial number can fail and what its idiosyncrasies are. Every single one of them's different, which then begs the question, well, if the gun manufacturer is making the same model and it's the same brand, what's the variation in there? Tools get dull over time as they're machining these.
Errors.
There's
always errors. Human errors, machine errors.
You have humans in the mix. There will
Production
always be a margin of error.
Everything,
exactly.
You know,
so,
yeah.
Or one part got too much coating on it, and so it doesn't fit together correctly the way the one with less coating on it fits. I don't know. I'm not manufacturing these guns, but that is a thing. So,
well, I don't know how many times I've reviewed a gun and been like, it ran flawlessly. And then I'll go buy the gun and it is having problems. And then I've also, on the other side of that, reviewed guns and it was terrible, but then everybody, I'm like, oh, this gun was terrible. And then everybody comments, I've had this for 10 years and I've never had a problem with it.
So you're saying that they have the exact same serial number that you've had, and that's why. No. They're all different. They're all different, and so one person's experience may vary, and nobody believes me when I say this, but I have seen it happen in person. When I worked at Blue Steel and we had a range and could rent firearms to people, I would rent one specific serial number out, and it would go to 10 different people. One of those individuals would always hit the bullseye, just one ragged hole in the target every single time with that specific serial number. And guaranteed, two of those people would not even be able to hit the paper.
Sure.
There would be no bullet holes in the paper. Their magazine would be empty and they didn't get a single shot on the paper. So everybody's experience will differ, and where your experience with a specific serial number falls, that's up to you and your baby that you're taking on a range date. It's not my experience. It's not someone else's experience. It is unique to you.
Well, and I also noticed, because I did a video on where we looked at like 7 different 1911s in all different price range, some of them thousands and thousands of dollars worth of 1911s. And there were 4 of us shooting them. And I would be aiming at the bullseye, but like hitting to the left. And then somebody else would be aiming at the bullseye and hitting it. Somebody else would be aiming at the bullseye and hitting below. And then there's this one guy, he kept making it jam because he was limp wristing it. And so here you got 4 people shooting the exact same gun and you're getting 4 different results out of that. Ran flawlessly for me, but maybe I didn't hit the target. Ran flawlessly for that guy and he's just drilling the target. This guy, it's jamming every shot, and but it's the exact same gun, exact same ammo. Only variable is whose hands are in it and what eyes are looking down at those sights. It's incredible. It's the first time like my eyes were open at, because especially when I saw that guy who was jamming on him.
And you're like, I didn't
And
have
I'm like,
this problem.
none of us had that problem. Or there'd be, there would be one gun where, I'm just getting this tight group and other people are all over the place. And then another gun, I get all over the place and other people get a tight group.
It's kind of frustrating.
It is frustrating, but it's a real thing.
It is a thing. It is frustrating and it is a thing and it's just something you deal with. And you're like, well, that one and me, we're just not as compatible
Right.
as maybe another serial number of the same model or maybe a different brand. I don't know.